Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Come on, focus on me, not him. Yes, here we go. Uh, Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. And today we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days. This is the third film in the live action adaptation of the book series, um, by, I don't know who made this book. Oh, man. Anyway, I don't know. I didn't read the books. They came along at a time when I was too old to be reading kids' books, which has been a long time. Okay, we're not going to talk about comics, but still, this is from 2012. It's 10 years old. It's an hour and 36 minutes long, and it stars the entire same cast is back, from what I can tell. Zachary Gordon is Greg, uh, Greg Heffley. They don't say the last names too much, so I don't really recall that. This is the second one out of the series of four live action versions, I believe. Disney did make a Disney Plus original adaptation of the books that's, I think, animated. That's fully animated, based on the art style that's in the books. They're not comics, but the guy who created this, or gosh, I hope it's a guy. I imagine it might have been a guy, because this is honestly, I mean, it could be a woman too. But I think this is just a lot of embarrassment about a teenage boy's. It takes place throughout a teenage boy's young life, specifically the summer between seventh and eighth grade. In this film, he's of course got a crush on a pretty girl played by Peyton List. Um, she was also in the first one. Her name's Holly in this film, but you might recognize her from Cobra Kai. I think she's one of the bad guys. She's, well, technically she's one of the only females who are fighting in the Cobra Kai thing. But that's how I know her from. So yeah, seeing her in these Disney films kind of throws me when I see her so little. It's kind of funny. What really surprised me though was the woman who plays the girl who's like 15 and supposed to be she's having her 16th birthday in this film. She has an older sister named Heather who is super snotty and just she's a complete jerk. I gotta get her name here. Come on, where are you? I don't remember here. Oh, her name is Melissa Roxburgh. She plays Heather, and I was like, where do I know this girl from? Well, she's she's she plays one of the main characters on Manifest, which is a show that's been canceled a few times and is being brought back in since the pandemic. It was about kind of a post Lost airplane crash uh, movie that brings people back from the dead. Apparently, it's a whole other thing. But Manifest was also on ABC, so it's funny just to see her. Michaela, she plays Michaela on Manifest. If you've ever seen that, so to see her so young and just playing this snotty, bratty teenager, this rich entitled kid, uh, was kind of funny because I recognized her and I just could not figure out where. But beyond that, this is all about Greg and his life, and it's one embarrassment after another. He's trying to make the most of his summer by playing video games indoors for 3 months. That's pretty much the goal, and I can identify with that. I think I might have spent a summer like that, but despite himself, he actually does end up with a very active summer. His friend Raleigh ends up helping him get into the country club that his family belongs to, and they just get to hang out in the super packed pool, which is really like four people in it besides them. They get to drink smoothies and just hang out and just have a great time. And of course, pretty girl Holly also is there. So that's another reason to show up and hang out and lie about his ability to play tennis. Seriously, yes, it's one. This movie is one embarrassment after another for Greg, and but it's not undeserved in many cases because every chance he gets, I think every chance he gets, his first instinct is to lie. Whether it's to his dad to say, "Oh, where have you been going?" Because his dad sets him up with an internship at his company, where he, of course, gets to work all summer indoors, but not get paid. And he lies to his dad right off the bat, and without even blinking, says, "Oh no, I'm working at the country club. I got a job." doesn't have a job. He just is there to hang out. And sure, he's getting sun, he's getting out, but it's still it's all predicated on a lie. But of course, that becomes a plot driving point because his older brother, Roderick, because there's a movie that's I think focused on Roderick. It might be number two, I'm not sure, but played by Devin Bostick. He is very funny. They're all really funny, but Roderick is a favorite of mine just because he's just complete absolute jerk, and he does some pretty good physical comedy. One of the great things about this series overall is the fact that there's a lot of gross out comedy in this. Not Jackass level, but like a lot of gross out comedy. Like he, at one point, Greg has to watch his little brother at the pool at the very beginning of the film, and he goes running through the the men's shower room, and Greg is like trying to block his eyes from seeing all the nude hairy dudes throughout there. Then he finds his little brother washing his hands in a urinal, and then of course he has to get him out of the pool, and his little brother announces to him, "I peed." And it's not bad. It's not, if that wasn't bad enough, he looks around and he sees other kids just smiling at him, and he gets splashed. So there's just lots of it's ew kind of comedy. It's nothing like super gross, but it's gross enough to make that if you've ever been in a public pool, you know that fear is very real. That if you're anywhere near a bunch of children, you're just swimming in kid pee. That's it. That's what it is. And yeah, it's pretty gross. But the physical comedy throughout this, Roderick realizes not only does, since Holly goes there, her older sister Heather goes there, and he has a huge crush on her, and he does everything in his power to get in her circumference or on her radar, basically, even though she is just a jerk to everybody she comes in contact with, and she certainly does not like Roderick, even if she knows who he is. And of course, there's a big culmination that builds that actually doesn't really focus so much on Greg. He kind of is he's a I don't want to give away the ending, but he becomes just an accessory to the act of Roderick trying to prove his love to Heather, who just couldn't care less. Beyond that, Greg goes to a wilderness camp because his dad's trying to prove something. He goes to the country club. He goes to a theme park with his best friends, his best friend and his parents, who are super just boring as anything. And they go on a very scary ride, and it's just there's all sorts of, he goes on so many adventures. It's a summer, a very diverse, active summer that you can't really, you could do a whole lot worse. Yeah, sure, he was super embarrassed in every moment that he just every moment it just but it's, and if you cringe at like uncomfortable comedy, well, yeah, this is not for you. But it is genuinely funny. There's also the looming fear that if he's a really bad kid, if he keeps messing up, and if he keeps getting caught for lying to his parents and everybody else, that he's going to be sent off to military school, which is comedically overwrought, which is comedically just extreme in its depiction. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, I highly recommend these films. No matter what age you are, you can pretty much identify with these. Being a teenager, at some point you've had some embarrassing moment. Hopefully not as bad as what Greg has dealt with, but you could feel the awkwardness, especially when it comes to like saying liking that girl or that guy you liked when you were a kid, and just doing every awful awkward thing to mess it up. Thankfully, Holly seems pretty oblivious to anything that Craig does, and that doesn't speak too well to her. But she's never judgmental, it seems, so that's good. He screws up. He knows he screwed things up, but she doesn't seem to. So he gets off easy. So yeah, I've watched 2 of these films. There's 2 more to go. I'm watching them out of order. This is the 3rd out of 4. So starring, I think everybody's the same cast. So he's probably getting like super old by the 4th one. And they did bring one of these out every year. This is 2012. I think the first one came out in 10, and then the second one in 11. So yeah, they were taking advantage of this kid's youth, making sure they knocked these out before they got too old. Because the last thing you want to do is have him as a 9th grader and he's like 35. It's like, yeah, I can't. Oh, puberty's just hitting me hard. Yeah, it's just, you don't want that. You don't want that movie. That's not. That's not what anything you want to see. This is not 90210. Come on, let's watch. Let's check tomorrow's episode.
155.
Okay, she's talking again. 155. All right, 155. Dang it! Come on. The list closed on me, and I gotta wait for it to load again. 155. At least I don't have to scroll far. Oh, okay. Well, we're back to documentary territory. Don't know if this is a series. I can't imagine you could really do a whole lot as a series with this, but maybe it's just an episode, 45 minutes or so. It's more than likely also a National Geographic thing. So we're heading back to Egypt if you're a Moon Knight fan, and we're coming up on the end of the series, season or series, who knows. We're gonna be spend a lot of time in Egypt. But here's one more chance to learn a little bit more about Egypt. We're looking at the flooded tombs of the Nile. Yeah, flooded tombs of the Nile is what's next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.